Morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, guess what? It's Friday, so that means that we're going to have some fun today. It's finally Friday. We've had an amazing week of bringing in a bunch of new guests, and it's been a lot of fun. So right now it's 8:57. We have a couple minutes, and then we're going to be bringing in our guests where we're going to be talking about water conservation. Whenever you think of water conservation, what do you think of? I remember being a kid and my mom, my parents, my teachers, everybody telling me, hey, don't waste water. But I never really understood why, because, and maybe people are going to be upset, be like, what are you talking about? Don't waste water. But there's like the oceans and lakes, and then we have the water towers. I don't really know the entire process, but I do know that it's important. And today, that's the first topic we're going to be touching on, water conservation, why you should be paying attention to these things, because from what I understand, it does make a difference, and every little bit helps. Like literally every drop helps. So that's going to be our first guest. We have Erica in studio, and then after that, we're going to be talking to a brand new food truck that is in our area. It's called Coops. You know, Chef Mary Bass was in on Tuesday or Wednesday, and it was an awesome time. And she was sharing about on her Facebook stream. She had made a post and said, "Hey, Guardy's looking for some people to come in on KHEA," and Coops was one of the people that, people were tagging, saying like, hey, have Coops in, have them come talk about what they're doing. So I believe they're from the Galveston area, and I'm always down to talk about food. And if you're down to hear about food and maybe try something new this weekend, then this is going to be the show for you. Good morning. Hey, what's up, Johnny? I see that UPW is taking it to, I think, like Bay Cliff, San Leon. I talked to, the promoter there the other day, and he was just asking, because I'm down. I enjoy talking about wrestling. I enjoy talking about cool things that are family friendly to take, my family to, or obviously, if you're listening, your family to. I'm down. So shout out to UPW. They found a new spot, and I believe it's where the San Leon Fire Department has like a pavilion there. So it's going to be fun, and it'll be a nice little change of venue. And so we'll see how that goes. But if you are watching on Facebook, feel free to share this out. Let me know what you're up to. What do you have going on this weekend? It is Friday. That means a lot of people are going to be off. Not everybody has the weekend off, but if you do, I want to hear if you have some plans. I haven't had the opportunity to really check the weather, but I'm going to do that right now. But it's been pretty nice outside. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good weekend. And then on Monday, it looks like there may be some clouds, and then Tuesday, maybe some rain coming in, but all that stuff is subject to change. So I want to hear from you. If you're watching on Facebook, let me know. If you're watching on Channel 46, good morning to you. You can text me, 346-704-1806. Feel free to give me a text, 346-704-1806. I want to hear from you. If you have some cool plans, maybe something that we haven't touched on that we need to know about that's going on in our area, I want to talk about it. We broadcast from Lamarck, Texas. If you haven't been to Lamarck yet, you're missing out. It's a gem on a map. If you're heading down I-45 south from, beautiful Houston towards Galveston, you pop off of exit 13 and you're going to run into me at KHEA Radio and at Abundant Life, where we like to spread positivity. We like to talk to you and find out what you have going on in our community and what I can help you get the word out about. I want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors and partners who help make this happen. I want to give a shout out to our good friend Realtor Anthony Macaluso, who is doing some cool things in the area. He was in studio actually earlier this week, and he was sharing about the brand new bounce house business that they're starting. So it's called Rockin' Rivers Bounce House and Party Supplies, and I'm always down for a good party, especially if there's bounce houses. So I'm thinking that we're going to need some more like bounce house fun now that I have a friend like in the business. It's going to make sense. So again, good morning to you. It is Friday, TGIF. Friday and Mondays have to be my favorite weekdays. Monday, because it's the beginning of a new week and anything is possible. And that's like the best day to try and spread positivity. And then Friday, because, hey, it's the weekend and everybody loves the weekend. So we're about to have our first guest come in. We got Erica. We're going to be talking and learning about water conservation. What is water conservation? Why should we be trying to save water? Like, I don't get it. I have a bottle right here, and there's a whole refrigerator full of these things. Like, is water conservation important, and why? What's up, Erica? How are you
Hi,
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
What's up?
So, I hope I don't disappoint anyone, but yes, we do need to conserve water, but I am here for water safety.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? I read into that
It's Friday. It's okay.
Okay. Well, why is it important to be safe around water? I want to be dangerous. It's Friday. I want to live dangerously.
Yeah, so we do have Labor Day weekend coming up, so people are going to be hitting pools, ponds, beaches, and I just wanted to be here to remind everyone how important it is. Drowning is the leading cause of accidental death with children ages 1 through 4. So, we have to protect our little ones. We have this year so far, there's been 77 child deaths in the state of Texas.
Is that normal?
So last year was 91. So we still have the whole year.
Wow.
So we still have some summer to go, and it's sad. Almost every weekend, if you go check the rates on Monday, it's gone up.
You're with the city of Galveston.
Yes.
And
Shout out to the city of Galveston Parks and Rec.
I do enjoy Galveston. There's a lot of fun stuff to do, including water. And so, spreading the awareness and, hey, I guess you need to be safe around water, especially with kids. But not just kids, adults too.
Yeah. And the way we always kind of describe it to everyone is water safety is kind of a layered approach. So when you can, swim by lifeguards. If you're at the beach, swim by a lifeguard. Galveston Beach Patrol is there for a reason. I worked for Galveston Beach Patrol for many years.
Were you a lifeguard?
I was. That's where it all started.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like Baywatch?
Yeah, not as glamorous though, believe it or not.
That's awesome. No. So I was a lifeguard for a bit, but I wasn't a real lifeguard. I was like a subdivision pool lifeguard.
Those are still real lifeguards.
I mean, I couldn't do what you did and what y'all did.
It's a different type, but yes.
Yeah, it's totally. I had the training and everything, and I did it, and it was difficult for me. I was like 15 years old or 16 years old, and I wasn't a natural. I mean, I swam and we had a pool growing up, but I wasn't like on the swim team or.
You didn't live for water, and yeah.
Exactly. Those people that I ended up being friends with, they like naturally jumped in. They're like, oh yeah, the training. But for me, I was like, well, we had a pool growing up, and so it seems like a good job. But it was tough.
It is, and the temperatures are tough. The day to day is tough for even pool guards. But
well, that's nice that you're speaking kindly of us pool guards. And while you're out there, like the Galveston Beach, and there's undertows, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes into account and into play that I am fortunate that I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah, because like I said, that's where I started, and now I oversee the community pool for the city of Galveston. So of course I got to give a shout out to all my pool guards. They work very, very hard.
So when did you start? When did you get into that? Were you one of those people who were on the swim team?
I was. I grew up swimming and started lifeguarding from 16 and did that all through college, the beach and the pool. And then the city built a pool about 3 years ago, and I've been with the pool since it was done.
Yeah, so swimming was life. Water was life for you.
Yes.
Are you from Galveston?
I'm from Dickinson.
Okay, close enough.
Close enough, yeah.
Still in the county.
Yeah, and I've lived in Galveston now like almost 10 years, so
cool.
I love it.
Have you been adopted in?
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty, the Galveston people, they're proud, and I love Galveston. And then people who are from there, they love Galveston too, like a lot. But they're very welcoming, like with open arms. They're not going to be like, well, you aren't really BOI, born on the island, but once
we want to share our greatness. Yeah,
I love it. So we're going to switch it on to the FM right now as well. We're streaming on Facebook. We're on channel 46.2. If you're watching, you have any questions, feel free to ask on our Facebook stream or send me a text, 346-704-1806. Turns out we're not talking about water conservation. We're talking about water safety, which is important as well. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's 9:06. I'm Gardy, and we have Erica here in studio. She's with the city of Galveston. We're going to be talking about water safety and why it's so important. You know what? And I think conserving water is important too. Even though I have this bottle of water and there's a whole fridge full, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would like to come and talk to me about it, and I would like to learn. So if you know anything about water conservation and why it's important, reach out to me as well. But Erica, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited that you're in. Chef Mary Bass put a call out for me.
She did. I love Mary.
How do you know Mary?
Just through the community. She does so much for our community. We're really fortunate to have her.
And she's plugged into Galveston, opening a new spot.
Yes, I'm excited. I can't wait.
La Cocina.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
Do you speak Spanish?
I do not. I do know that means
the kitchen.
That's
all you need to
know. Spanish.
You know, with our area, there's a couple of important words that you need to know whenever it comes to Spanish, and I mean, there's a lot, and I love the language. My family speaks, but like being able to order food in Spanish, like taco,
Oh, yes.
burrito, barbacoa,
Oh, yeah.
guacamole. Like those are the important ones for our area. There's so much good food, and I'm excited. Chef Mary is going to be opening her own spot. I was confused again with her as well. I'm not just confused with you today, but I was like, so it's a restaurant. She's like, well, it's a kitchen that's going to hold events and we'll, offer things. Sounds like a restaurant to me, but
So you're saying it's a restaurant.
yeah. So there's food and people are going to be able to come eat there. Okay. I'm not in that business, but Galveston is awesome. And you said you're originally from Dickinson. Can you walk me through how did you end up in Galveston?
Like I said, originally from Dickinson, swam my whole life, and I started working for the Galveston Island Beach Patrol when I was 16. Did that all through college. Every summer I would come home and we'd rent different houses and live in Galveston the whole summer, which was a blast. And then after school, I was like, I love Galveston. I've been down there for years now, and I want to be full-time. And so my husband and I live down there full-time now.
For the beach patrol, in the summer, how many people are out there in rotation, actually out there watching? How many people work lifeguarding on the crew?
I can't tell you now because they have expanded. They've added more, since we added more beach towards the west.
Mm-hmm.
On the seawall, they've added more lifeguards. So there's probably 30 towers now, at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you need every single one of them,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
even more, huh?
Yeah. Especially when you have an influx of crowds on the weekends like it's going to be this weekend. And yesterday the water started turning that blue-green again. So we're going to have crowds. I know that for sure down in Galveston.
That happened for it felt like a month,
It was
right there in the summer.
beautiful.
And people were going nuts. I had a friend say, hey, I was trying to get down to Galveston and there was so much traffic, which is awesome. I love, that people are going to visit Galveston and, they're going to spend their money there, have a good time, take their family. And we have a gym right here. Even if you don't live on the island, you have it right there.
Yeah. Yeah. We're so lucky to have it.
So the water's the green and the blue water is returning.
It is returning.
So maybe people should just rent a house, kind of like how you did whenever you first started working out there.
Yeah.
So what did you go to school for?
I have a degree in biology.
Where'd you go?
Lamar.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, maybe it's Galveston A&M. Don't they have a biology or
Yeah, they have a couple
water?
different, maritime stuff and marine biology degrees.
So it was you were destined to do what you're doing pretty much.
Yeah, I kind of got out of water for a while, and I worked for an environmental company, not water related, in the chemical plants. And I was always trying to get back to Galveston and get back to something water related and working with the public. I love working with the public. So this was like a dream come true. I really couldn't ask for a better job.
Mm-hmm. And so you started out beach patrol, and then after that, what role did you move into, the one that you're in now?
That's when I went to environmental private
Gotcha.
sector, and then I came back when they built the pool, and I was like, I need to check this out. I really want to be involved in this. And
Yeah.
like I said, I've been since we put water in the pool, I've been there.
Can we talk a little bit on those statistics that you shared earlier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So right now, drowning is the number one cause of unintentional injury-related death for children under 5. And it's the leading cause for children under 14.
Yeah.
And it's completely preventable. Completely preventable.
How long does it take for something like that to happen? You can literally turn your head?
It literally turn your head. And that's where most drownings actually occur at home pools.
Yeah.
Because I think you have that security net of you're at home and I'm just going to run in and get a glass of water. I'm just going to run in and grab my phone. And it takes a couple seconds. And most drownings that we're seeing lately are because of distracted supervision.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't say enough, put those phones away. They're not more valuable than your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Put them away. If you have a pool at your house, create a bowl in the kitchen that the phone goes in there when you go to the pool, that they're not even by the pool.
Yeah.
Your kids are priceless.
What about because there's, baby pools and water, little toys and devices, and, you may put an inch or 2 inches of water or maybe fill it up all the way. If it's, a foot high or something, are those potential hazards as well?
They are. Even the Red Cross, points out things like when you're washing your car, like a bucket. A small child could fall in there and flip upside down, and they don't have the strength to get out. So it only takes a couple inches of water.
And you said that there was 77 already this year in Texas?
77 just in Texas of children. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So do we have any specific statistics for our area as well? Even Galveston or in Galveston
I didn't
County?
look up the breakdown of the county recently. At one point, I know Harris County at one point had the highest in the state. Galveston, I don't think was very far behind that. Those are public record, but we did have just this week a drowning in Texas City, a 1-year-old in a pool.
Yeah, I heard about that over like by Moses Lake.
Yeah.
And that's terrible.
So
It breaks
tragic.
your heart.
Yeah.
But sometimes these things are preventable, and I guess the main thing is just obviously paying attention, like not turning your head. And it's tough to talk about because you don't want to like point fingers.
Exactly. You don't want to point fingers, and they call them accidents for reasons. Accidents happen.
Right.
And like it's kind of said earlier, it's the way to look at water safety is a layered approach because no one is drown proof. That's what I always say. Even professional swimmers, people that do it all the time, stuff happens. But having someone who is that water guarding is what we like to call them. Like, if you have a pool party, that there's that one person, is always watching the pool.
Aware. Yeah.
Having barriers, fences, those gates, using those gates and actually locking them.
Yeah.
A big thing, too, that we've seen is, kids like pool toys. Removing those toys from the pool when you're done. So it's not giving them incentive to go, I just need to go get my beach ball out of there. I just need to go get my big unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
I have one of those floats and I love it. Kids are going to love it even more. Take those out of the pool. Like I said, and just having someone that is a designated water guardian is really important.
You mentioned something about gates, and I've seen those, and I think it's a great tool. It's almost necessary if you have kids, or you're gonna have anybody at your house. Say, hey, this is closed. Are those gates? I mean, because it's a gate and it could fail. I feel like checking the lock or checking that it's actually working properly, or there's not a weak point where someone can get in. Is important as well.
Yeah, staying on top of your barriers and all of that, and that's where supervision is key. You need to be out there. And most, it depends on kind of what homeowners insurance you have, but most all of them require those gates.
Mm-hmm.
It's the law.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to check all that, and making sure you have to check your pool too to make sure the drains are compliant, that you don't have things broken that are going to cause hazards. Pools are a huge responsibility.
Yeah. So whenever I was a lifeguard, I was not a lifeguard like you, like the real deal TV lifeguard where you're like on the beach patrolling
running
and you get to
slow
run.
motion.
Yeah. I ran like jogged like fast motion, and anyways, I never, which I'm very thankful for, had to jump in to try and save anybody, which is awesome. But I remember it was a pool in Lake City at a neighborhood where I worked. I won't say the one. It's on 518.
We're honing in.
Yeah. If you're heading on the west. Yeah, anyways, so yeah, I used to be a pool lifeguard when I was a kid. It was a great job. It was fun, but it was a lot of responsibility, especially for someone, 15, 16 years old. But I took it seriously until I had an accident, and maybe we'll touch on that later. Something happened. It's okay. But I remember sitting on the chair, like elevated and just watching the pool, scoping the pool, looking around. Hey, don't run, blow your whistle, whatever. But sometimes there were parents that weren't really paying attention to their kids, and I would see them struggling like, hey, are you okay? And me trying to make that decision, do I jump in? And why isn't the parent, as a kid, it was tough. I wasn't prepared to be like, hey, you should watch your kids, or say that in a way because everybody get mad.
Oh, yeah. It's a huge responsibility we put on these 15 and 16-year-olds, and it is hard. And one of the things I always tell my guards is, if in doubt, go. You're going to look more foolish not helping someone than going. And it's a good time to, then you can remind the parents, hey, it kind of looked like your kid was struggling. That's why I went. Could you please stay within arm's reach of your child? Your child better than me, but they look like they were in trouble, so I'm going to go help.
Mm-hmm.
That's there's never anything foolish with helping.
Yeah.
So I tell my kids, I'm like, go. Just go.
And then the best part is the manager of the neighborhood pool was somebody a grade above me that I went to school with, and was like, yeah, come on here. And then there was the real manager who would come in once a week and, just check, y'all okay? Yeah, we're good. We're awesome. But, it was always, I don't know.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's an interesting setup.
Yeah. A lot of pools are set up that way. We're fortunate enough that we always have a manager, kind of like myself, there to help support them, because you're asking a lot out of young kids, a lot. And adults don't like being told, you can't do this, by a 16-year-old.
Yeah, and it's I pay my homeowner's dues. You see it all the time.
Yes.
And you do, and you do pay your homeowner's dues, and you should be allowed to use the pool.
Yes,
exactly.
We value you, but we're here to keep everyone safe. That's
Safety.
number one. I want your kids to go home safe. I don't want the pool to be the most traumatic event that ever happened in their life.
Right.
Because when those things happen, they don't forget.
Yeah.
You don't forget that.
So my son right now, he's 6 years old, and he took those. Have you seen those like baby survival floating classes? What are your thoughts on those?
Oh man, of course you're going to ask me something kind of controversial. I think they're great. I have never taught them myself. We teach swim lessons, and we follow.
Which is totally different. Yeah, swim lessons and baby survival.
Yes, and that's kind of the only thing I would touch on is the baby survival and the swim lessons don't necessarily translate. They're two separate things.
Mm-hmm.
That's teaching one skill, and at that age, they don't have the muscle tone. They don't have the strength that translates into swimming.
Yeah, the
Swimming's
baby's
completely
trying to get to their back. Like,
that's it.
Get to the back, float, and then just like find me. Like what's going on.
And I always tell, like a lot of parents ask my opinion about it, just like you did. And I always say, lessons are really costly too. Especially in Galveston, they have to come up to League City for them. And I always say, I'm like, put that money and energy into prevention before that kid gets there. Buy the better gate. Buy the alarm for the gate. Buy Coast Guard approved life jackets when you're out places that keep them safe. Like, do the prevention and try to prevent a small child from getting anywhere near that situation.
Yeah. So my son, he did them, and he loves the water now. But when you were mentioning like it can be traumatic, that was a traumatic experience for him. And for the next like 2 to 3 years,
kind of regressed.
Yes, it took a while for him he didn't want to get in the water at all. Because it was, and I didn't go. Like my wife would go, and my mom would take him. And my mom kind of was like, "Hey, I think you should do this. We have a pool, at her house."
Yeah.
And I think
it's a layer of safety. Keep adding those layers. I'm never going to discourage like a layer of safety because I think that's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of have to read your kids too. Even with our swim lessons, going to the back is the most like traumatic thing for them, even with us. So we find like creative ways to try to calm them because I don't want them going home from the swim lesson like, oh, mean Miss Erica, she makes me float on my back and I hate it,
Yeah.
So it's making that it's fun and they're learning some safety stuff. They're learning how to climb out of the pool on their own. They're learning how to use a ladder. Like that we go over all that type of stuff during lessons.
What's the most, I guess, important part of that swim lesson? Is it like making it to the side or the flotation?
I will say because like I said, we follow Red Cross. And so we start every lesson with a safety lesson. So if your kid leaves our swim lessons and you're disappointed that they're not the next Michael Phelps, but they're probably telling you, I'm never going to swim alone. I always am going to wear sunscreen. I'm going to tattletale if I see young kids swimming by themselves. That's really our goal the prevention is to teach them to be safe in the water.
Yeah. So then a couple years later after that incident with my son, we put him in swim lessons. It was at the Y.
Okay.
And they had a summer. So he was still young, but, I was in the pool with him for these because I was like, he needs to do something. Yeah. And let's see if we can reverse this. But it was the, like elbow, tummy, knee. And that was great stuff. And then, you had a little float and try and swim to it, kick to it, blow bubbles.
Yeah, we do lots of blowing bubbles.
Why is blowing bubbles important? I guess just not breathing in water?
Yeah, a lot of them, I think they're natural reactions. They want to drink it.
Yeah.
When they're sitting in there. And this year we kind of came up with it. It turned really funny. We're like, ooh, this water's full of feet. You don't want to drink feet water. And then at one point I have like 6 4-year-olds screaming, ooh, icky feet water. And all the patrons are like, what are these kids talking about?
Do they know something we don't?
Yeah. The water is icky. Oh, gosh.
Oh, my goodness. Right now it's 9:20. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. If you're watching on Facebook, feel free to ask some questions. We're talking about water safety. It's important, and you can always start somewhere. Even if your kid is 2 years old, 1 year old, there's always somewhere to start. This weekend's Labor Day weekend. Galveston is going to be pretty busy, right?
Yes, it will be very busy.
Yeah. What's the most important thing people should do? I guess that maybe some people know, or maybe not everybody. Like, what should you do if you're at the beach? Like to promote safety, like as a patron.
Yeah, if you're visiting our beaches this weekend, I strongly encourage you, again, always swim near a lifeguard. Pay attention to those condition flags that they fly. There's different colors, and the definition of what those colors mean are on the back of the towers. If you see that red flag, really listen to that lifeguard. Don't go past waist deep. Even if you're a great swimmer, that means there's strong currents. Go up to those lifeguards and ask them, how's the water today? They're required to swim the area when they get there and later in the day around lunch. So they know.
They'll know, yeah.
Yeah, so talk to them. They're a great resource for you, and supervise those kids.
Yeah.
Be with them. And don't be scared to put your kids in life jackets, but Coast Guard approved jackets. There are jackets out there that are considered like novelty items. If you can blow it up with air, that's not Coast Guard approved. I'm telling you that right now.
Really?
Yes. So open that jacket up and read. You'll see inside where it says U.S. Coast Guard approved.
Yeah, and that means that it's like
it's
guaranteed,
designed.
or
It's not, again, nothing's like guaranteed. No one's drown proof, but those are designed to get your kids' airway out of the water.
Okay.
Because that's the goal.
Yeah, I had talked to a friend, so he builds wakeboards, and there's a life jacket that I saw in some pictures, and he was like, "Yeah, it's not Coast Guard approved, but it's a little bit more thin and slim.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and it looked good, with the colors, but it wasn't, maybe as bulky. And for him, at least it's something. But I think that Coast Guard approved is really important.
It's really important.
Yeah.
And manufacturers have caught on to that. They make some of those jackets like with really cool patterns, really cool colors, and it has like, the logos that kids like, the Disney characters on them, but then they're not Coast Guard approved. They're just trying to sell their product. Like you said, it's a layer, but go try to get those Coast Guard approved jackets.
Yeah. Can we talk about all the different places where you can actually experience like cool water stuff in Galveston? Because, obviously there's the ocean, but there's so much more.
Yeah, there's the beach, of course, and then there's our facility, the Lasker Community Pool, and there's also Slitterbahn, which is a great gym to have down there. That's about all I know of.
Yeah, well, there's I know that with Moody Gardens,
and there's Moody Gardens, of course.
They have some really cool stuff. We had Moody Gardens in the other day, and they were sharing about how how long they're going to be open over there, because a lot of that stuff is seasonal. Obviously, the ocean is year round. With your location, what does that look like schedule wise?
So we start cutting back our hours on September 4th, but we're very blessed to have a long season. So we trim our hours up during the week, but still we'll be doing weekends until November the 3rd.
Okay. It's inside?
No, we're outdoor facility.
Outdoors.
Yeah. So last year we actually made it almost through the entire month of October before we even slightly heated. So we have that sun is hot, so the pool holds its temperature pretty well. So yeah, we only heated a slight bit last.
So it's a heated pool.
Mm-hmm. Only when we have to. Right now, it's naturally heated to almost 90 degrees. It's very hot.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like I'm torn, because I feel like if you're a lifeguard in the like the ocean at the beach, there has to be some people that are saying like, oh, you're lifeguarding the heated pool, like there just has to be that natural like competition.
Like you have the cush job.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it must be nice, right?
Well, I always tell my guards, I'm like, it's so nice. You get to rotate, go into AC, there's food, there's a bathroom. I was like, we used to sit in lifeguard towers for 8 hours straight.
Nothing. Back in my day.
Yeah.
We walked up beach,
up the
uphill.
sand dunes both ways.
Both ways. Man, that's crazy. Hey, are people allowed to take like jet skis like out onto our beach, and what does that do for I guess like safety of people swimming?
You can. There's designated launch sites, so I'd encourage you to go to like Beach Patrol's website to get the current launch sites, and you have to stay certain distances from swimmers and from the beach, of course. But you can't just go down any beach and do it.
How about surfing?
Same thing. There are most areas you can surf, but there are some that like that 61st Street Pier, you can't be within like 300 feet of it.
Yeah.
So again, talk to those lifeguards. That's what they're there for. They have to stay current with the city ordinances and everything.
Yeah. Do you have any stories? Did you ever have to go go in the ocean and save people?
Oh, yes. The job keeps you very busy. Yeah. We, multiple rescues, all kinds of stuff, CPR, you name it. I saw it.
Yeah. And it's a constant scan, because it seems like it's a big area, and obviously people can go out, as far as they want, or is there an area where like, no, y'all need to come back in?
Yeah, you start pulling them back in, after a certain distance that's too far out.
Yeah. Wow. We're going to take a quick break on the FM. We're going to keep it going on our Facebook stream and on Channel 46. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Yeah, I feel like, especially if you had to save people like that, you have a lot of stories. You could probably.
Oh yeah, it was years ago, but there's tons of rescues.
What about the training?
The training for Beach Patrol was intense. Yeah, it's a 2-week long rookie school with medical training, physical stuff, and you compete against each other for rank.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What does that rank mean? Just kind of pride thing, or?
Yeah, I was like bragging rights, and it kind of determined who got the full-time positions first that summer.
You want the strongest people for sure. Yeah. I remember hearing, like tales, I guess I'll say, just like, hey, they make you go down you jump off the end and have to come in. And
we did used to jump off the flagship.
Do y'all do that? I guess you can anymore, right?
The flagship yeah. When I was on Beach Trail, we jumped off of it. It was awesome.
What happens if someone can't cut it? Like, and then you have to go back and save them? Like, I'm sure that happens like during the training, right? Or no?
There have been lifeguards that get in trouble. So that's why we wear our buoys when you swim offshore and stuff like that. But you kind of feel your way out through that training if this is your thing or not. You figure it out pretty quickly.
I can't do it.
Even for our training for the pool, they figured out pretty quickly if this is where they want to be. And you see the ones that are like natural swimmers and the ones that aren't. And sometimes by the end of the summer, like we have kids that they're like, I'm not a swimmer. And now they're swimming on their own every day. Like they come in early and they're swimming because they enjoy it.
Yeah. At the beginning, do y'all try and weed them out? Like I'm thinking like military. It's like, hey, that's the toughest part. It's like, if you're not cut out for it, then you're not,
Yeah, because we have just standards that you just the first test you have to pass just to even go to get trained.
What is it?
So for our standards, it's Red Cross standards. So you have to swim 300 yards continuously, tread water for 2 minutes. And then we drop a brick in about 8 feet of water, and you have to swim from one end of the pool, go down, get the brick, take it back to the wall, and hop out in like 1:30.
Would I have done that back then? I don't remember. It sounds like stuff that I would have done.
I would hope you did, but everyone operates a little different sometimes.
So I did training. It was, I don't know, someplace like in Houston, and I went with some of my friends. They were like, yeah, let's go. But we had to go for was it like a week or 2 weeks or something
probably at least
that.
A week.
Well, yeah, I remember, the continuous swimming. I remember going down and getting something, and then the treading the water. But like they showed you what to do, and then you had to take a test at the end to be able to do it. But I remember even the warm up. It was like, all right, we're gonna warm up at the beginning, and it was probably like 300 meters. I was like, how many times? Like, what are you?
I'm done, right?
Me? Yeah. And then there was the big high dive there, but I've never did that. Like, have you? I'm sure you've done that, being like a water person. Like,
I've jumped off one, but I was no diver.
A diver.
Yeah, I dabbled in a dive class one time and was like, I don't think this is for me.
Yeah. What is it about the water and swimming that kind of drew you into that, like at in school and stuff?
Well, I think swimming, it's like the perfect sport of team and individual, especially like summer league. You swim your race, but all those points contribute to the team. And then there's relays, but it's something that you just throw on a bathing suit and you can hit the pool yourself. That, you really have to motivate yourself. But then when you want that team feeling, they're right there too. I think it's a perfect balance. And it's just such a great skill to have.
Yeah, that's true. And it's good exercise, right?
It's great. It's because low impact. You're working like every muscle group. It's a great exercise.
Yeah, I know I was tired. Is it like a cardio thing as well? Like having to be able to balance your breathing and all that?
Yeah. I think that gets a lot of people with swimming. They almost kind of panic with their breathing and they kind of get mentally in their head.
Yeah. So in school, whenever you were competing, what were you like, I guess, is it racing or swimming? What were you doing?
By big stroke, I was a butterfly swimmer. And I ended up later in life having to have shoulder surgery because of it.
Oh, wow. Wow. Did you ever have like aspirations to do the Olympics or compete or anything like that?
I did actually at one point. I thought this would be really cool to like keep going. And you start to realize too quickly, like just how competitive even like college, that level. And so it wasn't my gig, but I like I said, I've been a swimmer my whole life. And just 2 weeks ago, myself and 2 other aquatics managers, we went and did a 10K on Lake Travis for
swimming.
So it was 3 of us and we did a relay for drowning prevention. It was amazing.
Awesome. That's far.
Yeah.
Like 10K running, and like I'm safe.
Yeah, I ended up swimming all together, I think 4 miles.
Have you ever done one of is it called like a triathlon where it's like the swimming, biking, running thing?
I haven't, and now I was just asked by one of our public information officers. She's like, I saw that you did that swim. Why don't you come do a triathlon with me?
Are you down?
I don't know. My husband and I are running our first half marathon in December.
Awesome.
So the Santa Hustle.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see after that. I'm not a big runner. I'm trying.
Well, I feel like with most people, swimming would be the most difficult part, and for you, and
that's what it usually is. Their weaker
Yeah.
their weaker link. So that's what she's like. You got it. just hop on a bike now.
Yeah, I say that, and I don't think I could ever do one. But the bike, I'm sure like it hurts. Like just riding that long and then running, and man, those people that do that, like even like the Ironman,
Yeah, they're amazing.
stuff, they're really they're true athletes.
Yeah,
That's
it's incredible
nuts.
how hard you can push your body. That's insane to me.
Because I have a buddy who runs, he'll run marathons, and I'm gonna run an ultra, and all this other stuff. But even him, he's just like, man, to do that Ironman and try and qualify, and that's
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah, my mom is she's approaching 60. I'll call her out there, but she's probably run like 10 marathons now. It's insane. I'm like,
was she like that when you were young?
no, she kind of got into running later in life and then never stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Like she just took off.
Anybody
It's
else
crazy.
in your family swim?
No, it was my sister kind of swam a little bit in summer league growing up, but I was a swimmer.
That's cool. There's a summer league swimming. Like I never thought of that before.
Yeah, that was always the fun swimming because I swam year round as well. But that was kind of the monotonous. You showed up every day, but the racing in the summer and all your friends from all the different cities would kind of come, and that was fun.
Man, so I was in Kentucky recently, and I went to a place to eat lunch. It was after church in Kentucky, and the place had a pool, and they were holding a swim event. And I feel like everybody in Kentucky, Ethan's originally from Kentucky, intern Ethan, who is here and is awesome. Everybody in Kentucky, and Ethan, if you were in Kentucky at that time, you were probably there at the swim meet, was at that stinking swim meet, because I had to park so far. They were actually running shuttles, like a golf carts, to try and get people like to the restaurant area. And I had like 2 golf carts pass me by, and I was just like, what are y'all doing? Like, go and pick up other people? And Ethan, you probably know why. But I don't know. It was just funny. Then someone picked me up. Did you realize? I was like, yes, I need a ride. Thank you so much. But it was awesome. Like all the people cheering, and I'm guessing it was like it was a summer, a thing. But people were behind it, rallying, and you could hear when a race was about to start and ending, because it was I don't know. It was a lot of like cheering. Is there a lot of people that is that like a big cheering sport? Like,
yeah, especially if it was probably like a regional thing, towards the end of the summer. But yeah, growing up, we'd every Saturday morning pack everything up at 5 a.m. and head to whatever city pool we were competing at. And yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, you have to have your family support as a teenager to do anything.
Oh, yeah. Swimming was a huge commitment. Like, God bless my mother for carting me around doing that stuff.
Yeah, he was like, I swam year round, and then I did summer league. So
exactly.
Well, I see that with like baseball parents and even like cheer parents.
Softball. All of it's like turned into year-round sports. Like they never get a break.
Yeah.
Like these parents are superheroes.
And that's sometimes you don't even realize it till you're an adult. Like, wow, my parents did that for me.
They sacrificed a lot. And these sports are expensive.
Yes.
Because I cheered and all that too.
My son, he tried T-ball, like at
they're so
the swimming.
cute.
Yeah, I know. And he played one season, then he played the next season. He's like, I don't want to play anymore. And I was like, I really want you to, but if obviously we'll find something that you want to do.
Yeah, keep introducing him to things. Like they'll find their niche. Yeah.
Maybe it's swimming.
Yeah, bring him back.
Now that he loves the pool, but he's like, I don't want to wear any, flotation, because he still hasn't nailed it, but he's learning. And so anytime he's in the pool, like obviously like one of us is there. But he's lean and long and tall for his age, and
he sounds like a swimmer.
Right, that's what I thought. But he's like just trying. I don't know. He's like jumping off and just trying to splash me. But he's that's
a kid being a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like long and lean? Is that like generally like a swimmer?
I feel like but then I swim quite a bit, and I feel like I'm built more like a gymnast than like short and stocky. So I think it takes all types, I think that's why swimming's great.
I do have a question. Who do you consider the greatest swimmer of all time?
Oh, goodness. Growing up, I always idolized Janet Evans. And now you can't deny, like, Michael Phelps is amazing. Mm-hmm. He's a machine. Like
he's pretty tall, right? He's like 6'4" or something like that.
His wingspan's like the same, too. I think he eats like 6,000 calories a day or something insane.
Yeah, training for that.
Yeah.
See, because I saw that, like the reports, like even like the first Olympics that he was in, and he was winning everything. And he's great, but it was like he eats like 6,000 to 10,000 calories training. I'm like, how? I guess you're in the pool all day. Obviously, he's burning it off.
Yeah.
Did you have to like eat more like that? With all the training
I
you
feel like
did?
swimming you always get out of the pool starving. And I was told, and this could be untrue, so I'm not. This is not a science fact, but I had a coach tell me that swimming is one of the only sports that normally like when you're running or anything like high impact, you actually like your digestive system slows down. Swimming, it's so low impact and you're in the water that you keep digesting food. And so that's why you hop out of the pool and you're like starving.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was real science, but that always kind of stuck with me and it made sense.
And then you're a teenager, it just adds extra hunger.
Yeah, exactly.
Extra hunger, so that's funny. But yeah, Michael Phelps. I also saw this report. So there's a guy, his name is Chris Humphries, and he played in the NBA. And he was married to Kim Kardashian for a little bit.
I was like, I know this name.
Yeah. And it's funny because, you know, to play in the NBA, you got to be one of the best athletes in the world. But he probably got more famous from marrying Kim Kardashian for like
sure.
the summer.
That's why I know his name.
Yeah. Besides, you know, but for a while, him and Michael Phelps, like they're the same age. So like in like 9 or 10 or under 10, he was ranked like one above Michael Phelps. But I mean, he grew up to be like 6'9", 6'10", you know, obviously an athlete, but he was ranked above. I just saw like screenshots of that stuff in like one of the races or something like that. But it's pretty interesting.
That's crazy.
But they rank these kids starting. They still do that, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. That's insane. So much pressure.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like you could like burn out, or like when did you start? Because I feel like if you start too young in anything, sometimes if it takes over too much, you almost like burn out on it.
Yeah, there was some times too, especially in the winter. The last thing you wanted to do, even at an indoor pool, was to like put your suit on and go swim. But I don't know, it was always exciting. And now I think where I'm at in life with swimming too, to go do these open water races, that was exciting. You know, the pool just kind of gets boring. And so it kind of like sparked a new light. Now I'm like, what's the next race we're going to do? Like, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I loved it.
So you are the aquatics manager, but do you ever get the itch to go and be like, guys, I'm going to hang up my manager shirt and my tag, and I'm going to go back and do beach patrol? Like,
every once in a while
time.
when I like drive down the beach, I miss it. It's something like I met my best friends there. They're still the other 2 managers that work for me. They also worked beach patrol. That's how I met them. It's literally like lifeguards for life. Like that's almost all of my friends worked beach patrol. So it sticks with you.
yeah.
But I realize I know how hard they work too. So it's really nice on Monday, Memorial Day, I get to be off and enjoy it and not sit in that lifeguard tower.
Yeah, that is true, because it's going to be a busy time, I guess, in Galveston. So we were talking a little bit about food. You know, Michael Phelps eating 6,000 calories, whatever he eats. I know there's a ton of great food in Galveston, and I was looking for a way to tie this in. Whenever you are there, obviously working there and probably there pretty often, what kind of places do you eat at? You know, is there any like local places that maybe you could share that I need to go check out?
Oh my goodness. So I know you've had her on here before, but one of my friends is Concetta Maceo, and shout out to Maceo Spice. They're amazing. Like, that's one of my favorite restaurants on the island. I might be a little biased.
What do you get?
The shrimp salad. I love
need to
the
try
shrimp
that.
salad. Yes, it's so good. And whatever Ronnie tells me to eat that day.
Yeah.
You just go with it. You go with the whole experience.
I've had the shrimp po' boy. I'm pretty sure I've had that. I went there. It's a funny story, but I've tried a lot of stuff there, and it's so good. I saw they were recently featured. Galveston Tourism is doing like a new video feature.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like Eats or Bites or like
Yeah.
Galveston, something like that. So that's fun. But Galveston, like the tourism, well, their page has like 300,000 people that watch it, and I'm sure they're just like on the Blue Water watch.
Oh, I'm sure.
all the time. But it was really cool to see Maceo's and Concetta featured on there. So
Have you ever tried another little hidden gem, Soul to Soul Cafe?
oh yes,
Amazing.
yes.
Amazing.
The first time I tried Maceo's and I tried Soul to Soul Cafe was in the same day.
Oh.
And then I went to Benno's. Like, I'm not like, this was the funny story. Went to Benno's, and then we went to, what's the dessert place? There's a dessert place that it was right across the street from another cafe, and the cafe I think just closed or changed.
Like nothing but desserts, like La King's, like.
It's nothing but desserts. But yeah, it was not La King's. But so here's what happened. This was like maybe February or March 2018. We had never done anything with food before, and someone helped us set up a trip where we were going to go to. We went to Soul to Soul Cafe, and then we did like a little video, and then we went to Maceo's Spice.
Yeah, I remember seeing this.
We did a little video, and then we went to Benno's and did a video, and then like at Benno's, I was like, oh my God, I can't eat anything else. And then we went and had dessert, and I can't remember the name. of the place, but it was delicious cake, and I was like, okay, I'll
have a bite
for the video, And so I like Soul to Soul Cafe is delicious, and so she brought out like 6 different items.
She will fill you up.
Yeah, and we're trying to get it on video, and so it's that, and then we went to Macio's, and Maceo brought out like every Concetta was like, here's the po' boy, here's the muffle, have
a meatball. You got to try the cannoli.
And we did, and I was like, hey, this is the best day ever. And then we got to Benno's, and I was like, I'm so full I can't eat anything else. And they're like, here's the gumbo, here's some it was crawfish seasoned crawfish, here's everything else. Here's a po' boy as well. And there was a time where I had to go find an alley. I'm not going to say too much, but
hazards of the job.
And after that, I was like, never again. Like, all of them were so good.
We can't have a food tour like that. That's
no
intense.
more food tours, and if I do, it's like one bite.
You went on a food marathon tour.
That's exactly what happened.
A true athlete.
And then we had dessert. And then driving home, oh man, it was nuts. I didn't eat. Obviously, I didn't eat for the rest of the day, and I don't think I ate the next day. No joke. I don't think I ate the next day. Man, that was tough. That was one of the hardest days of this job. But if that's the worst I have to deal with, life is good. Yeah, life is good. And then since then, I realized, like, well, 1 a day, maybe 2, and you can't eat all the food.
Yeah, no,
it's
like little bites.
Or to like just pick it up and like for the camera, and it's like, oh, this is so good, and I'm saving it for later. Or like, I'm going to share it with my wife because it's so good, man. So we're going to go back on the FM. We have about 10 minutes left or so, and we can remind everybody about the weekend and Monday and talk about whatever else.
Great.
So was summer good for you?
Yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Summers it's hot, so they're long, but we've had a great summer.
This year went by quick. It's weird.
When you're in it, you feel like,
yes,
oh, it's just
forever.
dragging.
And then it's already like, man, it's going to be September. Me and Ethan were talking about that.
Yeah, the days are long, but the years are short.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100%.
Yeah. Let's see. So we can go back on right now. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It is 9:44, and I'm talking to Erica, and we're talking about water safety, not water conservation, although that is important. Do you know anything about water conservation, just other than what you were told as a kid?
I just know when they say it's a drought, don't you run those sprinklers?
Don't run the sprinklers.
Turn those sprinklers off. Don't go out there watering your grass.
Oh, man. Can you introduce yourself, the role that you play, at the Aquatic Center for the city of Galveston?
Yeah, I'm Erica Peace, and I'm the aquatics manager for the city of Galveston, and that's under our Parks and Recs department. And I'm over the Lasker Community Pool. Mm-hmm. And it's located on 43rd Street, right by Ball High. Some people think it is part of Ball High, but it is the city pool.
Are there a lot of parks in Galveston as well?
Yeah, there are a lot of parks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about other pools?
No, we only have one pool.
So you are the person.
I am the
overseeing
person.
it, the puppet master, making it happen here in Galveston.
Making it happen.
How can you go and attend? Like, do you have to be a member? Is there a fee, or is it free at a certain time?
There is a fee, but we are open to residents and non-residents. So you just bring your ID to show that. We get you in our system, and you can pay a daily fee, or you can buy a pass for the year. That's
awesome.
Yeah.
How many people work there at that center?
We have 3 full-time people, and of course it's a seasonal operation. At the highest point, I think we had 55 total employees because we have lots of lifeguards. Yeah. When we're fully open, there's about 8 lifeguards that work during the day, and like a separate 2 in the morning. So about 10 throughout the day, and they're young, so you have to hire a lot of them because they have stuff going on in the summer. So lots of lifeguards.
They're swimming summer league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of lifeguards.
Are a lot of them on the island, or some of them drive in from other places?
Most of them are on the island, but we have had some from Texas City and from Dickinson as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So if somebody, maybe has a kid and they think they'd be a good lifeguard, or maybe they should get into swimming, is that something you would recommend?
Yes, and come work for me.
What are some good signs? Like, you could tell, like, hey, they would be a good swimmer, or is there something like, I don't know, I hate to say stereotypes, but it's stereotypical, like, oh, if they like to do this, they're cut out from the same cloth?
I would think they have to enjoy the water. They don't have to be like, a Michael Phelps swimmer, but you do need you do need to be able to swim as a lifeguard. But I think one of the biggest kind of keys for lifeguard, be able to work independently, and have that maturity level, because like we discussed earlier, it's a lot of pressure for a 15, 16-year-old. So if you think your kid's like kind of independent and takes direction well, and then can be authoritative and and still be polite at the same time, they're perfect.
Yeah. Does any drama ever go down there, like with the
with our lifeguards?
Not with the drama, like because I'm just thinking about that. Me being a 15-year-old lifeguard and being like, "Sir, sit down, stop running. Your kids are doing that." I mean, sometimes things have to come up, right?
It happens, especially when you throw in heat.
Oh, man.
That summer heat that really gets people going. So yes, it does happen.
Wow.
But most of it, once the time with people, if you explain the why behind why you're telling them anything or asking them to do anything, they get it.
I would just say talk to my manager. I'd point over like, she's in there. Like, Erica,
can
you please talk to them?
That's always the great when the door opens and it's like they're asking for the manager. Like, okay, let me put my smile on. What's the problem?
Yeah. And then you just have to kind of reiterate what they're saying.
Yeah. And, most of, once you explain the rule,
here's why.
They get it. And most of our rules are set by like health codes, and it's the law. It's not my personal opinion. It's to keep people safe, and here's why.
Yeah. Can you bring food and drinks there?
We don't. We do have a concession stand, so
with like snacks?
Yeah.
Not like cheeseburger or anything?
We do have cheeseburgers, yeah.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, and our pool's set up that you can come and go. You get a wristband, you can come and go all day. So you can leave for lunch, come back.
Yeah. So the Texas City Library, they're doing a renovation, so they're shut down till like November or December. But one of the things they're doing is putting in like a snack machine, and I'm trying to get them to put in a concession stand.
Yeah.
So I'm working with that because like the library is cool. They offer a lot of great stuff. But how much more popular would it be if they had like steak night, like at the library, or like hamburgers?
If you could get the
nachos?
VFW to combine with a library, it would be perfect.
Man, yeah, like a soda fountain or like one of those. I can't remember what it is. Where like I want a grape Sprite, and then give me the nachos and a corn dog, and then you're over there like studying or. The library would be a place to be.
So a library that's kind of set up like a ballpark.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Nachos. And then every once and again, a librarian just like throws a ball, and if you go get it, you get a snow cone. Turn it into the concession stand.
I'm sure the nachos and the snow cones would be great around the books.
Well, you'd keep it marked off a little bit. Like, hey, if you're going to be getting the free snow cones, you can't bring it over here to the periodical, section. You can, the computers, you can stay over here. We're brainstorming. It's still an idea.
Yeah.
So it's
no bad
pitch.
ideas while brainstorming.
They haven't said no.
Hey.
Well, they kind of did. But it wasn't verbally. It was through text. It was somebody else, the director. But I was talking to one librarian, and she was open. She's like, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll bring it up.
There you go.
I agree.
Revenue stream.
Yes. Just trying to help cut down the cost. With your location being provided by, I guess, the city, a lot of that funding would come from the city, and then I'm sure it's like a smaller fee. Is that how that works?
Yes, that's exactly how it works.
Cool. What do you see happening in the next 2 years? Are there any plans to add another location, a pool, or add on to your spot?
Right now, no. Pools are very costly. It's like owning a boat. There's always something going on with it. Internally, our next big plan is to introduce a swim team. We don't have a summer league, so we want to introduce that to the city, and so that's a lot of work. Like we talked about, parent support, and it takes a village. We would love one day that, to add on to our pool eventually. That would be great.
Why are pools so expensive?
It's a lot of upkeep, the chemicals. And, our pool has an extra element that we're so close to the salt water. So our equipment already looks like it's 4 years old, and it's only 2 years old. That salt water is really hard on everything. Just the other day, one of the guards walked in with the basketball hoop off the backboard, and I was like, what happened? And it just rusted off.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, oh,
I thought it was going to be like a kid, like acting like he was like
Dunking.
Michael Jordan or Shaq, like, breaking the rim. Oh, I did it.
That's probably what did it in.
It was probably him, the lifeguard. He was like, oh, man.
I was just dunking.
It was just rusted and fell by itself.
It just fell.
I didn't touch it at all. All right. Speaking of expensive pools, there was about a weekend where I was looking into a pool. I was like, man, it'd be awesome. Yeah, I want a pool. And then I stopped into the first place. And then I decided, no, I don't want a pool. I don't want a pool that bad.
Commitment.
Man, my parents have a pool, and whenever we bought that house, I was like 10, and we moved to Lamarck, and it had a pool in there. So it was kind of like a joint deal. So that worked out. But I'm sure the upkeep, and my dad, he's like meticulous with keeping up his stuff like most dads are. Out there, he's probably out there scrubbing right now. Like sweeping the
That's
pool.
the best way to keep your pool in shape. Brushing is the most important maintenance thing to do to your pool.
And then there's
Number one.
the vacuum, which I
Put
love.
that thing in every day.
Just working overtime.
Yep.
It's like a little robot.
That's why I always every morning I'm like, good morning, little Johnny. He does all the hard work for us.
Keep working hard, chugging along.
Keep going.
Yeah, my dad, he had to replace the vacuum after like 15 years, several years ago.
He's taking really good care of it.
Yeah, no, he was. It was like it lasted that long, and then now there's like a new one in there. Just
I think my dad's been through 15 in a year. He's an engineer, so they're never good enough.
Oh,
I tried this one. They said it'll pretty much do everything in the pool for me.
So y'all had a pool, and your dad was an engineer. Oh, I could only imagine how awesome that was. I'm glad I wasn't there.
And then I married an engineer too.
Oh, that's great. So there was a time in my life where I was a technician for AT&T. So going into a lot of people's houses, and you're respectful of the home, but you can always tell whenever someone was an engineer. Like walking in, like, how you doing? And they're just like, no, what are you doing? And I'm just like saying they have to know how it works, and why.
The why.
I'm like, I don't even know why. Like, literally somebody trained me. I'm doing this. These wires are going here, and this is how it works, and it's going to be perfect. And they want to know why, but you could just tell. But it's good to know that stuff.
Yeah, I remember when I moved out of the house. My dad handed me a spreadsheet. He's like, here's the breakdown of cost of living with all the columns of everything. And you'll have
awesome.
$2 at the end of the month. And that's if you find an apartment that costs this much. I was like, oh, thank you.
Well, that's so helpful. And it could probably at times be a little much.
Yeah, but it's great knowledge.
They mean the
He
best.
knows, in the end, I hate to admit it, most of the time they know what they're talking about.
He was right.
Yeah.
Like every time.
Yeah.
And that would be annoying in itself. Like, why are
Very.
you always right? Just be wrong once.
Yeah. Same with my husband, too.
Crunch
Drives
the
me
numbers.
crazy.
But that's pretty cool, though. Obviously you, it wasn't too much with the too much engineering.
No. And they're kind of very different. He works for NASA and does the kind of aerospace engineering.
Your husband does? Or
My dad.
Your dad, okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of engineering does your husband do?
He's more electrical, construction, engineering, that type of thing.
Yeah. Going back, if I could tell myself anything, like as a kid, I would be like, do engineering, anything. I don't know if I could have,
It's
if I had the
giant
personality.
Field.
It is.
Giant.
And I've talked to people, like especially in our area, if you pursue engineering, it's a great way. Kids, listen, Ethan, I know you want to be a history college professor, but consider engineering. Just saying.
Just saying.
Okay, right now it's 9:54. This is KHEAradio.com, 99.5 FM. If you're watching on Facebook, feel free to share this out. Let me know if you have any questions. We're talking to Erica. Erica, is there anything else you'd like to share? Maybe remind people one more time all the stuff they should know about water safety, which that's a very vague,
It's
thing.
huge,
But just
yeah.
remind.
Like I said, I just really, really encourage people to put the distractions away and really be there with your kids. Supervise those little ones. And even as adults, don't swim alone. Put those life jackets on. There's just recently up north, like a daughter and a dad that went out on a boat, and they think that he got off the boat to maybe go to the bathroom or take a quick swim, and maybe the boat drifted away and he couldn't get back. And the little girl was found. Thank goodness she was fine on the boat the next day. But if he had a life jacket on, that would have changed a lot. So yeah, supervise those kids and try to swim near a lifeguard whenever you can.
Yeah, that's tough. I talked to my dad, and he loves fishing, since I remember. And being a kid, we always wore life jackets on the boat. But for him, he wouldn't, because he's out on the water and maybe it gets in the way. But I think that's whenever you are too comfortable in a situation, that's whenever things can happen. And so,
I totally get it. Just when we did the swim race, when you weren't swimming, you were in a kayak, and they required us to wear life jackets. I threw a fit.
Yeah.
This was 2 weeks ago. It's so hot. I can't paddle right. But last summer, my now husband and I went out, and I broke every water safety rule. I literally threw one life jacket in the kayak, didn't tell anyone we were going out, and a storm came in. And we ended up flipping the kayak in Clear Lake, and I'm surprised the Coast Guard didn't get called, and we had to swim the boat back to shore.
And you're fortunate you're a great, strong swimmer.
But I knew better than doing that. All of it. Every little step that I did was wrong.
Yeah. It's always hard to do what you're supposed to do. That's tough.
Yeah, especially when it's just not cool. I don't need this life jacket.
Yeah.
But you need it. We all need it.
Erica, can you come back next week and do a water conservation
My
spot?
research on water conservation.
It's here's what I found. Actually, get your dad. Get your
I'll
dad.
put him on that.
Yeah, and then we'll bring him in. That'd be fun. Well, thank you for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
I think we're going to talk about Coops next. Do you know them? I saw some
do.
waving.
They're my friends. Tara and PJ are amazing, and their food's incredible.
I'm excited
I
to
love
learn
them.
about it.
They're like the sweetest couple ever.
Stay tuned. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. KHEA. Thank you for hanging out.
This is awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
It's fun. It's easy.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
That was fun. Well, thank you for having me. Y'all have a good day.
You too. Yeah, hit me up if there's ever anything you want to share, or y'all have a program or anything going on that I can help get the word out about with the the parks department, anything.
Will do.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys. Now we're going to switch it up. We're going to be talking to Coops, and I believe I'm saying that right, but it's a food truck. It's a brand new food truck that is right here in Galveston. It's stationed in the Galveston area. Maybe they'll venture off the island, but we're going to be finding all of that out. And to be honest with you, I just found out about Coops like 2 days ago, and then I went ahead and I gave him a call. I was like, I need to bring y'all in because y'all were highly recommended by Chef Mary Bass, and I know Mary, whenever it comes to food, whenever it comes to most things, Mary is a very, very valuable source of information, and I appreciate her recommendation and suggestion. So shout out to Erica, who we just learned about water safety with it being a holiday weekend. Most people are going to be off of work on Monday. Galveston's going to be busy, not just Galveston, but, backyard pools. I grew up and my parents had a pool. By the time we moved in that house, I was about 10 years old. And so I was not, super young. And we grew up doing swim lessons at our public city pool and just, my parents were very, thought that was important. And then it was great. We moved into a house and I was able to swim, and I'm not necessarily like a daredevil. I always had friends who wanted to jump off the roof of like the garage into my parents' pool, but like that's not me. That wasn't like my first idea. Like, you know what I should do? I should jump off my parents' house into the pool. Nah, so I was always like kind of like the safer person, but I did enjoy swimming. So much though that when we moved in the house, whenever everybody was moving in like boxes and furniture, I was like, I'm going to go swimming. And I kind of did it so I wouldn't have to help. And I kind of did it just because I was really excited that we had a pool. So that was a good time. Yeah. So let me know if you are watching on Facebook. I want to hear from you. I want to see your comments and know what do you have going on this weekend. It's a little bit of a longer weekend. It is what I'd say is a holiday weekend. And Monday, a lot of people are going to be off work. Maybe there's going to be some barbecuing. Maybe you're going to have some people over, some water sports. Go down to Galveston. I hear that the water may be blue, it may be green. We'll see. We're going to learn all about that. So if you have any plans, I want to hear. And then maybe if you have some plans for food, I definitely want to hear that. And we're going to be talking about Coops, which is a food truck, and maybe we'll see where they're going to be at this weekend. So that way you can try some of this delicious food. So here we go. We got our guests coming in. How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming in, especially on such short notice. So Mary put out a call for me a couple days ago, and I love Mary Bass. First of all, can you introduce yourselves?
Yes, I'm PJ Head. It's my wife, Tara.
Hi.
PJ, Tara. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. Tara, right?
Tara, yes.
Okay, sweet. And it's Coops. It's with the K, though.
Yes.
K-O-O-P''S.
Coops. Whenever I hear that, it makes me think of I think of a chicken coop.
That's why we did it. Well, that's one of the reasons why we did it.
Okay, so
Play on words.
that'd be accurate. Okay, cool. So is there a lot of stuff that has to do with like chicken or like eggs?
No.
No,
really.
we one of our dishes is a smoked chicken with a waffle. So it was a coop. So we did a lot of chicken stuff, but it's mainly straight barbecue.
Ooh, okay, awesome. Where are y'all from originally?
This area.
Y'all
Galveston.
are from this area, from the Galveston?
I was born in Galveston, not really raised in Galveston, but Galveston's always been kind of a second home.
Yeah, for
me.
sure. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that, feel that way. And Galveston is such a welcoming place, I feel like, to people that it's not like they're like, well, you're
Galveston
not
is
really
pretty great. Everybody
here.
wants to live on the beach.
Yeah.
He has a lot of roots in Galveston. He has more roots in Galveston than I do. I kind of just attached myself to Galveston, but he has a lot of family. He's more from Galveston than I am.
Okay. What is it about Galveston that I guess, obviously being from it and being born there and from this area, that kind of draws you to
The
that
salt air.
the salt air?
Yeah, once you hit that causeway after you've been gone for a while, you roll your windows down, smell that air, and you're home.
I know
always said that
exactly what you're talking about.
As soon as you hit that bridge, it's just everything changes.
Yeah.
It's Galveston's pretty amazing.
That's why it's dangerous to come and visit, because if you stay a little too long, you don't leave.
I
So-
agree with that.
We're gonna go ahead and go on the FM right now, and I'll get y'all introduced, and then we'll learn about everything that you guys got going on.
Great.
Do y'all have any questions for me before we do that?
No. Well,
No.
One thing you could do, your mic sounds good. If you can move your mic a little bit closer and up, and you're going to want to talk about as close as he is, and then that'll be strong. Let me hear you.
Hello.
That's perfect.
Okay, great.
Okay, here we go. What's up, Anthony? Good morning to you. Shout out to Anthony Macaluso, Realty Solutions, and also Rockin' Rivers Bounce House and Party Supplies. I like whenever I say party, I want to go to a party, and if it doesn't have a bounce house, I may leave. If Coop's food truck isn't there and there's not like a water slide bounce house, it's not a party for me.
we've had them before in the parking lot.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Now that's a party. Thank you, Anthony, for everything you do. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's 10:02. It's Friday. Thank goodness. We made it. We did it. We got through the week. I have two guests in studio. They are the owners of Coop's Food Truck. I have Tara, and then I have PJ here hanging out, and we're going to be learning about Coop's. So can you share with me, what is Coop's?
Coop's is a barbecue food truck.
Why barbecue?
I started doing competitions about 10, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And for some odd reason, on my very first one, I won a first place trophy, and I got the bug.
Oh, man.
And then 6 years later, when I took her to her first, she won a trophy on her first try.
I won first place also on my first one.
And from then on, it's been all about how we can make a good meal off a barbecue pit.
Yeah.
And that's what we like to do.
So is that whenever you got, like, you entered that competition, but obviously I guess you had been smoking meat and barbecuing for some time before? Like, how did that passion start?
Yeah, I've always been a backyard griller, and a family member, they have a really big barbecue cook-off team.
Yeah.
And he asked me to come and join after I got done with culinary school, and I went there the first time, and I got really lucky, and it just so happened, like I said, first time, and I couldn't stop after that.
Are those competitions, I mean, obviously they're skill, but I feel like there's a lot of years of experience there.
Oh,
Does it take a
absolutely.
little bit of luck?
It's a bunch. Sometimes
Everything takes a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
You're going through sometimes like 90 teams, and that's a whole lot of different entries, and you're just one out of 90. And if you get a first place trophy out of that, it's
We also really like to eat. So
Yeah.
I think it's very helpful because we know a lot about food because we've literally eaten everything. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to cook when you know what things taste like.
For sure.
And so we're not afraid to try things and put them together and see what they taste like together. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of fun with it.
Do y'all, doing that, do y'all try things that maybe other people wouldn't traditionally try, being a barbecue spot in a food truck?
I don't know. We do a shepherd's pie, which is traditionally lamb, as we call it, a Texas brisket shepherd's pie. So we try to come up with new ideas because we have so much leftover brisket sometimes, and it just gets really old eating brisket sandwiches over and
Let
over
me
again.
stop you right there. Whenever you have all that leftover brisket,
I'll bring you some.
all you got to do, you got to stop into me, and I promise you, me and Ethan, intern Ethan, we will knock it out. I'd love to try that. But shepherd's pie, can you walk me through what is shepherd's pie? I've heard it before. I think I maybe have had it before, but it's not something I think of when I think of barbecue, Texas barbecue. What is shepherd's pie?
It's not. Well, shepherd's pie, basically, it's normally made with lamb. We kind of reduce it down. We put our own little spin on it. We almost make it like what am I looking for? Not ossobuco, but the red wine reduction
Yep,
dish.
red wine reduction.
It's got some peas and some carrots and onions and red wine, and we put some extra special seasonings and some
You
gravies.
top it with mashed potatoes.
Oh, the mashed potatoes
Oh,
and the
cheddar
cheese
cheese.
are the best top.
You get it all baked together, and it's all a one dish.
Yeah, shepherd's pie, is that like a dish from like the UK or something?
It is. It's from overseas. It is European. I believe it's Irish.
Okay, gotcha. So I had the opportunity to go to Scotland whenever I was a
Scottish,
teenager,
Scottish.
and I think there was stuff like that, but one of the things I remember was they had like haggis.
No, not doing it. Not doing it.
I had to
I'm
try.
I'm not eating anything out of his stomach.
I'm not sure how we could put brisket and make that into that.
Stuff it with stuff. Yeah.
We do different twists. Is what we like to do. We do instead of a loaded baked potato, we do a loaded sweet potato, which changes everything.
That is different.
The sweetness of that potato with the brisket and the savory stuff that we put on top of it. It mixes so well with it. It's different and it's good. And
It is a great dish.
It's one of our best sellers.
PJ, you mentioned that you went to culinary school.
I did.
Where did you go to school?
And Note down the road on 45 and 610 here in Houston.
So growing up, did you always, I guess, have that passion to cook?
I cooked with my mother and all the holidays on the weekends, and so I always liked being in the kitchen with her.
Yeah, starting at a very young age. Like, how old were you?
Since she let me hold a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we always had the huge family gatherings, great grandparents, and holidays, and so every time we were over there, I'd always want to help, and so that's what I did, and it was just an easy move to go to culinary school.
Yeah. So around what age did you realize I'm going to go to culinary school? This is what I'm going to do. I'm good at it. I want to do this.
29.
About 20.
I went when I was 30, I believe.
He likes to really jump on things.
Yeah, no,
Don't want to rush into anything.
No, it was some reasons why I went are it just came later in life.
Yeah.
It just I was doing other things, and I was sitting there and I saw this place here in Houston, looked them up, went and visited them. It was a great place, and so I decided to jump in and go.
Yeah. So how long? So whenever you finish culinary school, obviously you started, smoking meat, barbecuing, got on the team, and then did you go work places, or were you trying to open your own spot immediately?
I did go and work places.
This is fun.
I'm not very good with getting direction told to me.
Sure.
And how things happen. So working in someone else's kitchen didn't work out well for me. So I always wanted a place, and then when we got married, we opened up a business together, and she was able to put everything together for us to jump on and be able to get a food truck up and going. It's all her. Is why we got it done.
I have worked for other people.
Yeah.
I was in the restaurant business for a long time, so I absorbed a lot of the knowledge and
Cool. Is that
decided to put it out there.
Is it easier for you to take direction
I really enjoy
from someone else's kitchen? He's like, no.
I like being the boss. I don't like taking direction. So
Yeah.
it's very easy for me to kind of delegate and say,
Yeah,
hey,
you have two
you do
A
this, you do
personalities
this. Oh,
in
yeah.
a 8x16 kitchen. It's not very fun sometimes, but the food tastes good all the time.
Yeah. So Tara, you kind of worked in that restaurant industry and kind of, see how it works. And did you have that passion growing up for food as well? Or is that something just like, hey, I'm good at this?
I'm not sure if I really had any passions growing up, but I did start cooking at a very young age because I really enjoy food. And it was something for me to do that was a way to stay out of trouble.
Sure.
And also make delicious things for all of my friends and family to eat. I would have a lot of gatherings, and I would always focus everything around food. I always loved to cook. So it really just made a lot of sense.
Yeah. Speaking of Chef Mary Bass, that's how I found you guys. So I'm glad she was
She's
able to
pretty
do that.
great.
Yeah, she's a nice
And
lady.
she'll share how, food in times of happiness, sadness,
Absolutely.
get-togethers,
Always
people
in the kitchen.
bond. People bond over
Absolutely.
it.
So what are your
Cooking it,
memories?
eating it, everything is around food.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Can we walk through some of the other menu items? You said a loaded sweet potato, which
Yep.
I've never heard of before.
Yeah, well, what we do instead of a regular baked potato, we use a sweet potato, obviously, and we top it with our chopped beef, and then we do a 4-cheese queso. It comes with pico, tomatillo salsa, barbecue sauce, and sour cream.
And brisket.
That's what our chopped beef.
With that chopped beef. And that sounds sounds
It
good.
is really
And we
good.
do a nacho, same way. We just use different. We use instead of we like to call it like a Texas nacho. We use potato chips instead of normal chips.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we
They
use
hold
kettle
it.
chips
They're
and
very
and then a loaded mac and cheese.
What is it about potato chips that makes it pair perfectly? Because even if you order something,
Salt.
it's the salt.
Yeah, the saltiness of it brings.
We
it.
actually use a different kind of chip. We use a Cuban chip, so it's got kind of a pickle flavor, so it makes it even
Like a little
even
bit of a bite.
saltier.
Yeah.
But it's really good. It's different.
So y'all use a potato chip, a pickle,
A kettle chip.
a kettle chip, okay, and then you I mean, you make nachos. What else goes on there? Like the traditional nacho, like barbecue nacho toppings?
Oh.
It's
Then
a
we
good-
put pinto beans. We make everything from scratch. Everything is made fresh daily, and we're just really proud of it. It's a pretty good product.
That's awesome.
the other thing that we like to make a lot is the brisket elote, which
Really?
is a corn in a cup.
Yeah.
That's one of our
And we
newer
make a
items.
we make a spicy aioli, and then we top it with brisket, pico, flamin' hot Cheetos, and Parmesan cheese.
Oh my goodness.
It's the first time we took a bite of that, we were like, "Wow, we might be onto something here."
Yeah.
it was pretty
Brisket
good.
elote Americana.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ethan, I
I'll
know
bring
you
you
don't have a
one.
mic. Have you ever had elote? You know what it is? Like roasted corn, and then you put it in a cup? No. No, okay. Man, well, I love it as is. Obviously, you know, like
It's really good.
there was a time in my life where I was like hunting down fiestas, like the grocery store, just trying to find the elote man. Like, just pay me a corn, Mr. Elote
I like
man.
that.
absolutely.
I never understood it. The mayonnaise, I never really. Some people use sour cream. Some people use mayonnaise.
Yeah.
We chose mayonnaise. We think that it's thicker and it's
Well,
better.
yeah,
A
and
lot of
then-
people hear mayonnaise and corn and they don't like it, but it's very, very good.
I've tried it both ways. It's good. And then they have like a Mexican like sour cream or a Mexican mayonnaise. And then there's like different kinds. I've had it and it's good every way. You know, it's that same consistency.
That's why I say
taste.
spicy aioli, so no one hears me say
Mayonnaise.
mayonnaise, and so it's just
When
but
people
it's-
try it, they really love it. But when we describe it out the window of the food truck and we say it's corn and then we put a spicy mayonnaise, as soon as you say the word mayonnaise, people are like, oh, no, I don't want that.
Corn
So
and mayonnaise? No,
these-
trust me.
Yeah.
spicy aioli and it sounds fancy and people want to eat it.
You know,
And it's good.
whenever it comes to stuff like that, like lime goes good on everything.
we put a lot of lime in our pico.
Yeah, just lime it up.
Mhm.
We actually had some people give us a whole bag of limes the other day, and I got so excited they probably thought I was a crazy person. 'Cause
Yeah,
just a huge bag of limes, and I was so happy about it.
yeah, that's awesome.
We do use a lot of limes.
What else do y'all have? How many menu items are there? Is there quite a bit, or?
We switch it up every week. We do our basic menu is the brisket sandwich. We like to do chopped beef and also sliced brisket. The sliced brisket sandwich we put coleslaw on, which he makes a whole homemade coleslaw. Also, we don't do anything packaged. Sometimes we buy packaged cabbage, but for the most part, everything is done fresh. And I'm not a fan of coleslaw, but he makes a great coleslaw. So the sliced brisket sandwich has coleslaw. The chopped brisket is pickles and onions. So those are like our staples. We have those all the time. We always have beans and coleslaw as sides. But every
green beans.
every
we
couple of
do
days we
ribs,
try to mix it up. Oh, the ribs. Oh
do
yeah. We got
chicken.
some
We'll
good
smoke
stuff.
chicken. It just we plan a week, and we want to do something a little bit different every time. Doing the same thing over and over and over again is very difficult to keep on
It's
top
not.
of. But
I
we
don't
have-
think that
we have
that's difficult.
staples. We
Yeah,
have
I
staples
think
that we're
it's
always
easier
gonna
to
have.
do the same thing every day. I think we switch it up, and that makes it a little more challenging.
So when I go
It's
to a
more
place,
fun.
even like a fast food place, I like to try stuff that is like the seasonal stuff. You know, obviously, you got your go-to, like, man,
Like
I know
pumpkin
this is good.
spice.
Exactly. But it's like, okay, yeah, pumpkin spice, baby. It's seasonal. It's like, oh, yeah, let me try that. I haven't tried it. Like, yeah, I'm a sucker for that, at a restaurant, at a food truck, on a menu. It's like the picture. I'm like, the picture looks amazing. Or I see somebody else, like, when you were describing how if y'all describe like, hey, it has mayonnaise in it, people would, but if they saw somebody else eating it or smelled it, they'd be like, I want to eat that.
That's
it's
what
the
our
power.
main thing is. We love if it's really slow. If we go, we like to do events because we do like to travel to different spots. And if we don't have a lot of customers coming to the window, that's what we want. We want someone to come and get something great, not just a barbecue sandwich. We want them to get like the macaroni and cheese. So when they walk off, other people see it.
What
And
is
they
that?
say-
Yeah.
Exactly. And that always brings the business.
You just need to get that one person. Maybe if it's one of
just
y'all
takes
just
one,
walking around,
yeah.
just being like, man, this is so, look at this. Just walking around drawing attention.
I always tell him you should just take his shirt off and put a Speedo on and just walk around and just eat barbecue sandwiches. And
That's not going to happen.
Whatever it takes.
we
Whatever
would
it
do
takes.
so well.
So you said y'all travel. Like, where do y'all go? Where have y'all set up in this area or in Galveston where people could find you guys?
We do a few different spots. We feed Jamaica Beach RV Park on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we do 3 Acre Food Truck Park, and then
We just picked up the Oaks Bar.
in the Oaks Bar on a Friday night or on Saturday nights, and we'll have our standalone location where we'll be parked on 50th and Broadway in Galveston.
What's that near?
That's right in between Bronco Burrito and Napolera. So it's right on 50th and Broadway, and we'll be there starting, I believe it's September 12th or 13th.
Wow, that's a great location.
Yes.
We love saying next to Bronco Burrito because everyone knows where Bronco Burrito is.
You say Bronco Burrito, I was like, I know exactly where that is. Like I'm picturing, I'm
and
seeing,
we'll be
looking
parked,
at Bronco Burrito right now.
The truck will be parked there.
Yeah, we've said
during the week.
50th and Broadway probably 50 times. And
Where's
people
that?
Where are they? When we say next door to Bronco Burrito, they're like, oh, okay,
yeah,
right
you're
next
gonna
door. That's perfect. It's
Man.
great. We're very, very excited. It's a great location.
Do y'all enjoy Bronco Burrito?
Oh, yeah.
At least
Once a week.
once a week.
You can eat barbecue every
For
day.
how many years? Yeah.
Can't eat barbecue every day.
So, but no, we've done some car lots. We've done openings for businesses. We've done quite a few different little events. A lot of places will come in. A lot of bars will come ask us to go and do a Saturday night or a Friday night to help bring them business. But at 1 o'clock, it brings us more business than we bring them because people are ready to go home and they want something on the way
They
home.
need some meat.
Yep.
They're hungry.
And so, I mean,
Brisket's hard to make. Brisket is, and he really does make a really great brisket. I used to think my dad's brisket was the best brisket, but I think that he might.
Is there any secrets that you could share with us? At least like how long you smoke it or like something.
that varies on how that's the fire.
You just got to watch it.
You
huh?
gotta, you have to trim it a certain way so it rolls over in the right way. The smoke rolls over the right way in the pit. The best secret I could have is I read a book about it by Aaron Franklin, and he's why I did this. And
That's Franklin's.
He wants
Franklin's
that to be
barbecue.
his best friend.
Well, he looks like a cool guy. So I've seen, I'll see these videos pop up sponsored on my Facebook where it's like a master class.
I took it.
You did?
Anything. Okay. I went to.
Well, it looks
an
interesting.
event-
I don't even smoke barbecue, and
Yeah.
I just
would like to
listened
watch
to
it.
it.
I went to an event 2 years ago called Southern Smoke in Houston, and I waited in line for like an hour and a half for just one slice of his barbecue. All right, and when I took a bite of it, it was just his brisket. I was like, "Oh my God, that's just salt and pepper." But it was just salt and pepper. It was very simple, but it was the best slice of brisket I ever had. I'm like,
Wow.
I can do this. And I went and bought his book like the next week. It's the third book I read from cover to cover. And a year later,
He said third.
a year later, she got us a food truck, and so
Wow.
that's why I did it. I mean, it's hard to cook. It's a hard meat to cook, and if you can know how to do it right, it's really good to eat. But fire is important. You know, if you don't go too hot or too fast. There's all different types of ways to smoke. And just you got to find what you like the best on how you want to do it.
Yeah, because I'll hear some people, they like, well, it has to be 12 hours. It's not a brisket. It has to be,
I do
at
mine.
least 8 hours. And it makes sense because no fire, no piece of wood, no.
It's not the same.
I mean, even the conditions like outside, the pits may be the same, but it may
Sometimes
be
it's
rainy,
30
like the
degrees
temperature.
outside.
all
Sometimes
kinds
it's
of stuff's
100 degrees
different.
outside.
It never fails when we have a large job and we have to cook 8+ briskets. It's going to pour down rain every time.
And that just puts a little bit of a hamper in things, but you just got to monitor it, right?
Yep.
And then adjust.
It's all about adjusting. That's what I'm saying. That's why smoking something is difficult. I mean, because it is a 10-hour process, an 8-hour process, a 12-hour process, and over those hours, things can go wrong. Fire can get flamed up too hot. It'll burn your meat. It'll go down low. It won't sear right, or it won't do something right. And so it's a little difficult sometimes, but it's always fun.
You know, I'm a firm believer in kind of, that experience you just shared. If you find somebody who is an expert at something and they're willing to share that information, like if you see someone like, that's what I'm doing, that's what I want to do, man, go learn all you can and get that person's information poured into you and filter it through and see what works for you or what doesn't. But that's really cool. And that inspired you, just that taste, waiting
one bite.
taste.
He talked about
I'm
it
sold.
for months.
One bite.
It was pretty. When he bought the book and then he took the master class, and I'm not used to him dedicating himself to something out there like that. So you could really tell it was something he was passionate about, and
Man,
he's
that's
great
awesome.
at it. Really great at it.
And then a year later, Coops,
was alive.
it's rolling, huh?
It's rolling somewhere.
He wanted a restaurant really, really badly, and I just said,
Well,
no, it's not.
And this is a great,
Not to start off.
and that's, moving in that direction.
Yeah.
You could do it. So, like our friends in Alvin, Smoking D's Barbecue Fusion,
Yeah.
they just announced that they're opening up a
I follow
restaurant
them.
as well. And so he's been doing that, for a bit. And they have some, what I like, they have, the Macdilla.
Yeah, the Macadilla, yeah.
They have some things that are just a little bit, different,
We're
in
talking
that
about
fusion.
things we talk about on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we want to try the macadilla.
Y'all need to try it.
Yeah, we haven't had
I
it
know
yet.
y'all eat a lot of barbecue,
Yeah,
but
no, but
try it.
we're also, when we're working, he's working. So it's not like when we're off, he's usually off. And so I saw him on TV a while back and followed him, and I called him up before I was getting into it, and I asked him questions, and he was extremely helpful with us on how to go about it, what you have to do with the city, the county, things like that. And he was very, very helpful, man.
Yeah. So Dustin, we've asked him about this before, and I was going to bring this up. I know whenever you're in a space, there's a lot of competition, and this is actually from Don. He said, "Hey, Riondo's wishes you guys much success on your venture, as well." So it's really cool to see how,
Hi, Don.
even like the support like this. But I've talked to Dustin. I'm like, "Hey, is it competitive out there?" He's like, "It can be, but for us, hey, I'm willing to pour. If someone asks me a question, I'm going to answer. I'm going to help them as much as I can. Why not?"
That is actually something that we also just recently talked about. We do the 3 Acres Food Truck Park, and we've gotten to know so many different owners of food trucks, and everyone is amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone is so great and so helpful.
It's all about booking events and doing things. And so
It's our new little food truck family, and
And
it's
they're-
very exciting.
everybody
Everyone
is
really
been
great.
absolutely amazing.
Well, like if even, if somebody asked y'all to a date and y'all already have it booked, and it's like, man, I know somebody, and why not? Because they're going to pass it on to you as well.
And they do.
Absolutely. We do
Yes.
that all the time. We have a few people that we talk to that if we can't get there, we recommend them and get them
And
there.
vice versa.
And then because it's so easy to get pulled into, well, y'all are doing similar things or the same thing or whatever, but it's not. There's things that obviously, your personality, the way you do it, it's going to be different.
Yep.
But it's easy to get
We're very
sucked into like competition. But I love it whenever you see that teamwork, especially in an area, just working together to make the food scene better.
Absolutely. And that's what we're about. That's what we've learned also when we did this. We didn't know, we thought it was just us against everybody, but everybody that we've come across has just been some of the nicest people we ever met. I mean, and they tell us they told us websites to go to get catering jobs, how to get signed up to get other events in the area. And it's just everybody that we've met has just been really, really good people.
We've met a lot of husband and wife teams also, and I really
Which
like
got to
that.
be tough. 'Cause
Yeah.
it ain't.
That's the next piece of advice is like,
that
hey,
is not easy.
We
call
need-
them up. I got to
we
ask
need
some
another
questions.
food truck.
Yeah.
One for him and one for me.
His and hers.
You say, hey, I need some advice. And they're like, oh, what do you need? Is it on the, the app or the billing or this or the cook, this? And it's like,
How
no.
do I not murder my husband today?
Yeah, the husband-wife team. How do y'all do it? I think of Rolling Republic. They're a husband-wife team. But I think they
We really
literally
like them a lot,
started a
too.
second truck.
They did.
They started a second truck.
Well, that's how good they're doing.
Yeah.
They're able to do that. Yes, we talk to them through Facebook all the time.
Yeah, they're good people.
They're really great too.
Yeah, that's some good food. I know they have the.
They're doing
Man.
a Cuban this weekend. This Saturday, they're doing a Cuban sandwich as their first time out at 3 Acres Food Truck. At the food truck
Oh,
park.
that's
So-
awesome. That sounds
I
good.
just pointed to a picture of a Cuban sandwich yesterday and said, I need that. So we're going to have to go there and eat that now.
But we'll be busy because we're double booked Saturday. See, that's where the thing is. So we got other people that make great food, but unless we're parked next to them at a different event, we don't get to try it because when they're working, we're working, and it's just there's no way to go get and try everybody's stuff.
Yeah, man.
We tried to, though.
I would too. I would try to. Right now it's 10:25. This is KHEA Radio.com, 99.5 FM. We're streaming live on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, feel free to share this video out. Let us know if you have any questions. Maybe you have tried coops before. Maybe you haven't. They're going to be out at some places on Saturday. Is that the next opportunity to try tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Actually, we have something tonight. Tonight we're going to be at Galveston Island Brewing on Stewart in Galveston. Tomorrow we're going to be at Jamaica Beach RV Resort during the day, and then in the evening we're going to be at the Oaks Bar, also on Stewart, right?
it's on Stewart, but it's way
Closer
west
to
in
the West
Galveston.
End.
And then did you say September 12th is when y'all are next to Broncos? When does that start?
We'll
That's
be
when we're
moved
gonna be in
over.
our new location.
We're moving over in September, but up and going is probably it's either, I can't remember on the calendar. It's either the 12th or
September
the
the
13th.
12th is a Thursday.
So I
So it'll
believe
be that weekend will be our first weekend open.
Yeah, but the best way to keep up to date on that is follow you guys on social media, maybe?
Definitely. We do Facebook and Instagram. We have a Twitter page, but I don't keep up with it too much because I'm not a movie star. But
I know those are the only people that it's worth. Like if you're like the president or you're like Leonardo DiCaprio, like those are the only two people. Like
I mean, me and Leo are best friends.
but
Hasn't been down
we're on
lately.
Facebook at Coops. Also, she has us on Instagram. And
Facebook is always the best way to follow us. I post, if we do have a different menu, I post our new menu and pictures of our food and our location. So obviously Facebook is
cool.
the way to go right now.
So what's the final goal? I know you talked about maybe wanting a restaurant first. Is that the main goal? Maybe
the final goal is to have a little bar on a beach. Just to retire. I don't know yet.
We're thinking somewhere out of the
everything's-
United States, somewhere small, maybe Caribbean-ish.
It's a year ago, the goal was different. Now we're here. The goal was a truck. Do I want a restaurant? Do we want a restaurant? I don't know. That's a whole lot of work. So we're not quite sure. I mean, we enjoy what we're doing right now with this and doing a lot of catering on the weekends also. And so we're just going to see where it goes from here.
that's cool. Is that important? It's almost like smoking meat. You got to just kind of adjust as it comes at you,
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
In business.
We
Absolutely.
really do play it by ear a lot, and I'm okay with that. We do fine. We get along. We're friends.
95% of the
So
time we get
we
along
just
great.
kinda, one of us will throw an idea at the other one, and we work it out, and
Yeah.
it usually works out. We
I'm-
do pretty well.
I know it sounds like y'all are very busy, obviously, and it's a constant hustle. Do y'all ever still have the opportunity to go in or do some of those cook-offs?
We have a
Oh,
cook-off.
absolutely.
We have a cook-off that we're doing September 21st for the Crosby Youth Rodeo, and it's for to raise money for college
For Huffman and Crosby.
for Huffman and Crosby for college stuff.
Scholarships.
Scholarships for college.
That's awesome. That's a great cause.
We do all of the cook-offs also in Galveston. The Shrimp Fest,
Wild Game.
Chili Fest, Wild
War
Game,
game cook-off. The
Old Smokies.
Old Smoky.
What's your favorite? You said there's a wild game. The shrimp one is
Oh,
favorite.
Shrimp
Favorite.
It was
Shrimp
that was
Fest
our
is my
first date
favorite.
7 years ago.
That's
was Shrimp
cool.
Fest. And so that one
I love gumbo.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of gumbos out there.
yeah, the gumbo one's fun. The,
From
the
here
Shrimp
to
Fest
here.
is good. And that one's coming up in September also.
Yes,
It's
that's in
September-
a couple weeks. Few weeks.
September 28th, I believe, is the Shrimp Fest.
Don't get me to lying.
So it's I like all of them.
We do though. We make sure that we know the cook-off schedules before we plan our events because we really, really like trophies, and
Yeah.
so we have a lot of fun doing the cook-offs.
And we have to switch our cook team name now.
What was it?
It was called Four Calls because we had a thrift store that helped local animal charities in Galveston. It's called Four Calls Resale, but now we're just Coops.
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 Makes
Yeah.
sense.
I guess we'd be Coops
Yeah.
barbecue Coops cookers.
Coops cookers cook off.
Yeah.
Cooking.
We have a week to figure out our new name.
Get new shirts done. No.
So here, I'm going to tell y'all about an event that we are putting on KHEA Radio. We're teaming up with United Way. So it's a cook-off, but it's a little bit different. It's a taco cook-off.
Down.
There's a lot of tacos here. So it's actually October 12th. So it's the weekend before Bayou Fest. And what's going on is we're going to have beef, chicken, seafood, and an open. There's 4 categories. There's some cash prizes. We're doing trophies, and it's benefiting the United Way, who helps a lot of agencies, 29 different agencies all over the board. So that we're excited, but it's going to be here in the parking lot.
Sounds fantastic.
So it's family friendly. We're going to have like bounce houses, some games. We're going to have
bounce houses.
obviously tacos. That's what, yeah, my Rocket River's bounce house and party supplies. He has 30 pieces, and I've been working hard trying to get him to set up all 30. He's like, I can't. There's no way. There's no way,
Enough plugs.
Yeah.
That's a lot of electricity.
Say it 30 times every day. Well, no, here's the thing. So Lane and Sea Services is donating
Generators.
So we're going to have as many as we need for any team that needs it. If you don't need to bring your whole trailer, if you need to bring some small, or bring your whole get up. And then you can also, if you go to talkoftaco.com, you can find all that stuff. It goes to an Eventbrite link, and United Way is handling all that, and you can see all the details for that. But you can also sell as well if you want to. So you can, obviously y'all have y'all's permitting stuff, and that's just like in the the thing. So we want to make sure that everybody who's listening knows. So if you want to enter too, you can.
Absolutely. If we're available, we'd love to do
I
that.
haven't heard about that.
We'll also have a Taco Tuesday when we're opened up in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know what?
Brisket
Taco
tacos.
Tuesday.
Brisket tacos.
People love tacos. That's why we kind of started this thing. And LeBron. I don't know if you follow like LeBron James, but he started doing these videos of this family like Taco Tuesday. Probably about 2 months ago, and I was like, dude, I've been on tacos since I was like 2. Like, come on, I mean, you're just now catching on.
Taco
Like,
Tuesday's been around for a long time.
there's a place, I believe in Wyoming, and it's a taco place called Taco John's. They call it not, there's Tex-Mex. What do they call it? Like West Mex or something like that. And my friend really, really likes it, but he's not from this area. And I'm like, dude, no, I will not try. There's not one here anyways. But they own Taco Tuesday, and they've been sending cease and desist, like some of these restaurants or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Ow.
But they've owned it for like 20-something years.
I was going to say Taco Tuesday's been around for probably 10 years. 10,
So they had
15?
Taco Tuesday, and they trademarked it.
20 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then it caught on like wildfire in Wyoming.
Yeah,
It
like
spread across
Taco
the whole
Tuesday,
United
and
States.
it made it down here to where
I thought that
tacos are actually
that
good.
tacos were more of a southern thing. I didn't think that
Exactly.
they had really Mexican food
Right.
up north.
But they say it's like a mixture of. So think of like it's better than a Taco Bell, which I love Taco Bell, but like a Taco Bell caliber Taco Cabana. Like it's a fast food-ish restaurant, but it's not as fast.
I got you.
Yeah, but I don't know because I've never had their food. But people have actually said that it's pretty decent.
Did you hear last year that Taco Bell was voted the #1 Mexican restaurant?
I did in the United States.
They bought a hotel in
I
Palm
saw
Springs.
that. I saw that
I
too.
listened on sports radio. They bought a hotel in Palm Springs where the whole thing is
Taco Bell themed.
themed, everything, even like your floaties that you lay in the water in the pool it's a big floaty of a Taco Bell hot sauce.
And that actually sounds kind of fun.
I do like Taco Bell.
It sounds like it would be awesome. What do you get? Because they have like fire, mild,
Fire.
hot. I usually get the fire,
Fire.
too.
We like the fire. I really like the Verde sauce. I like to use it in some
haven't tried that.
recipes.
Oh,
Well,
really?
They
From the
sell it
grocery
in
store?
Kroger.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
She
I
does
do.
something at
I
home
do
and
like
stuff,
to
yeah,
buy
it's
the
like-
hot sauces and throw it in some. When I make enchiladas, I always put the fire sauce in my red sauce, just as a little kick.
Are you ever tempted when you make something like that, like enchiladas, like, how can we get this on the food
We
truck?
put enchiladas
Oh,
in the
I've
food
done
truck.
brisket
have?
enchiladas.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
There you
what.
go.
That's why we came up with the shepherd's pie, because I got so tired of doing tacos and enchiladas and just basic things, different types of sandwiches. We made like sloppy joes with like a spaghetti type sauce. So we try to do a different version of brisket dishes, but the brisket enchiladas are very, very good.
Man, so I love Mexican food, and a
So
lot
do
of
we.
people do. Our area is full of delicious Mexican food. Isn't it crazy that it's the same ingredients on most things? It's either like it's a chip, but it's still a tortilla, the taco, or it's a quesadilla, or it's the exact same ingredients, but in a different way,
Absolutely.
and it's totally different.
Yep.
Food
That's
is
what we're trying to
beautiful.
do with the brisket.
Food is beautiful.
That's
I
exactly
agree
what
with
we're trying to do. And so that's what we're trying to come
I
up with
could eat
something
Mexican
different.
food every day, so
She can.
I'm always trying to make
gets-
Mexican brisket somehow.
Yeah.
But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build different dishes from different places using the brisket as that vehicle. So
Even our
we're-
macaroni and cheese, our loaded mac and cheese, is a
Is that
mac
bris-
and queso.
it's
Is
a
that
mac and
brisket
queso.
in it at all?
What?
The macaroni?
The loaded macaroni comes with a 4-cheese queso, brisket, homemade
Beans.
pinto beans, and then pico, sour cream,
Burnt-in
tomatillo
beans.
salsa.
Those are good too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of, burn-in. So I went to a local barbecue spot down the street the other day, and I always ask, like, I got to have the burn-ins. And sometimes, they don't always
It's
have
not
them.
popular down here. The
That's
burnt-ins,
weird. What?
It's not the region.
I eat them all, so
I want to put them in some of the burn-ins into the beans a lot of the times, but sometimes we go places people don't eat meat, and only the few things that we can offer them are beans
Without
and
meat.
corn and that without the meat. So if I
and
don't know where
coleslaw,
I'm,
but they don't eat mayonnaise.
if I don't know where I'm going, I can't put it in there. But if we do a catering event or something like that, you get whatever scraps of brisket goes all into the beans.
Man. Yeah, and I've been to some places where they will like cut off the bark. I'm like, no, like I want, just like stop. Like let me have that trash can because I've seen that. Just stop what you're doing. Let me go cut it myself. Like I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yep.
But I'll tell them, but in places like Texas Pit Stop Barbecue is one of our sponsors and great friends. I've been going, so they know. Like when I walk in, I'm like, right? Okay, cool. Just making sure. Like
they've helped us out on the crunch when I ran out of wood, doing a big
Really?
job. I've called up to the guys in Galveston. No problem. Super big helps. Like I said, we haven't ran into anybody yet in the barbecue or the food truck stuff that has been not good people. So it's always
that's pretty cool.
Everyone has been really nice.
So
Yeah. That's good to hear because there's a lot of negativity put out on the news and
everywhere
and Facebook, social media, everywhere. But to hear that,
Especially if
things are
someone's
good.
ate there and they didn't like it once. We haven't had a bad review yet, but
That's not wood.
there's I know it's coming. You can't please everybody, but it's what people do.
It really is. A lot of people are very ugly nowadays, and it's a shame.
Yeah. Here on KHEA, we just, I don't know. That's what we try and stress. Like, we want to talk about good things.
Absolutely.
There's so much bad, but like, if you don't have a good experience, talk to somebody. You don't have to immediately go to social media. You can, obviously, you can do whatever you want to, but you know what? Most of the time, people are going to try and make it right. What wasn't right? Let's fix it. I'm sorry. We want everybody to have a good experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How important is customer service to you guys?
Extremely. We're in a very small space. Sometimes we have a line of 40 people. Takes us 30 minutes to get to through or longer. And, we try to get our food out as fast as possible, as hot as possible, and with a smile.
And he's a jokester, so he likes to talk to people. I like to make the food so I don't have to talk, and he'll talk to the people while I make stuff, and it works out pretty well.
Yeah.
And we actually have a third person, Jennifer. She'll come and help us when we know there's going to be a big crowd. And she has also been in the restaurant business for a long time. She's not anymore, but she just helps us out. And she is just amazing. She's got a big smile, and she's really friendly. And between the two of them or the two of us, we try to be very friendly and very helpful and courteous.
Even after cooking something for 12 hours and getting an hour and a half of sleep and having to drive an hour and a half to get somewhere.
Ding, smile, ready to go. Yeah.
We also know our product really well. And when you know what you have, it's easy to talk about it. It's easy to tell people because a lot of people have questions. Oh my gosh, I have 3 phones in my purse. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're good. Hey, so something else. So I have a buddy who he has Tacos Bomberos is the name of his business. So he's out of Houston, and so he'll do some, a lot of catering events and go. But he got a bad review the other day, and I think it was one of his first ones. But he's been doing it for a couple years now, and he made a post, and it was a picture of his grandma cooking in the kitchen. He's like, hey, it doesn't take time. Sometimes the fat brisket takes, however long it takes to cook. It's hours. Good food sometimes isn't fast. Sometimes, it takes time. We make everything to order right here in front of you. And so if there's a long line, you're complain about and go back and do a bad review. But it was just a reality check. Yeah, we're people. Talk to me.
Say something on that.
Sure.
We've only had a complaint once that I can remember of, and it was when we had a long line, and I had taken a picture of the long line because I was really proud of it. And the woman that had complained was in my picture, and she was, I think, 22 people deep.
Yeah.
And she said that she waited for almost 40 minutes. So with 20 people in front of you waiting for 40 minutes, that's a 2-minute ticket time. And I think that's amazing.
That is pretty cool. That's awesome.
I think that 2 minutes to get out full orders, hot and fresh, I think it's great. I think that's a great ticket time.
I thought she was going to complain about being in the picture.
No.
Sometimes, I'm in this picture.
We do some of these markets sometimes, and we try to be as prepared as possible, but we look up and there's 35 people in line, 40
and
people
he
in
likes
line.
to talk. I'm like, get out of here.
Nope, time to get down and go. And so it just depends, varies. But yeah, no, it's.
We do believe in good customer service, though. I mean, I was in the service industry for a long time, and they're the people that pay your bills, and they're the people that make or break you. Because if one of us says something ugly and they leave a bad review, I mean, I think you got to have bad reviews, because if you have too many good ones, people don't believe that you're real.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have good and bad. We would prefer more good.
More good than bad. That's the whole goal.
But I mean, bad reviews it's just human nature. People are always going to try to pick out something bad and find something. And if someone points that out to us, then we can correct it. So we have great customer service, I believe, but we have no bad reviews yet. So
I'll go
Hopefully
do it.
they
I'll
won't
go do
come.
I haven't had the food, but just get the first one
Just
out the
come
way.
leave us a
But
bad
it won't be
review.
bad. It's like,
It was okay.
it was good. You know what it's like?
I
Was that a
really
bad
hate
review?
that
What was
husband
this?
and wife couple. They're terrible. He talked way too much. He knew too much about brisket.
Hey, is there anything else y'all would like to share while you're here today that maybe we didn't touch on or maybe reiterate?
Well, I really would just like to say that we've been in the same location at 44th and Broadway in Galveston for a year, but we have not been consistently open because it was not a very good location. We ended up throwing away more food than we were actually serving. So once we get moved over to the new spot and we open up, I think it's going to be really great. And so I just really want people to know we're there at 50th and Broadway and to come try our food because it's really great. And we will be open Tuesday through Friday because Saturday we still do want to travel around and go to different locations because we love going to the food truck park and we love
Yeah.
Jamaica Beach. So we kind of want to stick to our Saturday fun places.
Is that y'all's vibe, like the beach, like Jamaica Beach out there? Because it's a little bit
Jamaica
different.
Beach RV Resort, the owners have just been really welcoming for us and they are really amazing. They've always got great
And there's
people staying there.
There's 180 RVs parked and no restaurant around.
Hey, they need some food. Let's go.
They serve pizza there.
Yeah.
But they're just really nice and they make us feel at home and we like going where we're liked.
Yeah, out there, we had someone in. It was some time back now, but where they would rent out like paddle boards, surfboards, and it's just like a different vibe out there. And I used to be in another line of work, and when I was a technician, and so just going out there like to the West End,
Anything by
nice.
the water we want to do.
Yeah.
We love
if it's
being
close to
by the water.
We're all about
I think
it.
everyone's just in a better mood. It's just a happy vibe when you're by the water.
Yeah. So
And
one more
swimming
time.
makes you hungry.
Yeah, that is true. And we were actually talking about the water early, water safety. She's like, whenever you swim,
With
and you get
Erica?
out, you're
Yeah,
starving.
It's true. You can eat and then wait your 30 minutes before you swim. And then when you get out, you're
we
hungry
talked to her about
again.
pulling coops up to,
Yeah.
to her pool
Yeah, that'd
on
be
occasions.
cool.
So we
Okay.
might do that with her.
That'd be awesome. I was asking, like, do y'all have food there? She's like, yeah, we got like a little snack bar, but you need some coops.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's the ticket right there. So can y'all remind one more time before we sew up the show today, like the social media, maybe what y'all offer, why somebody should come check you out.
Well, we do have really great barbecue. We are new. Everybody likes a new spot. If you do check out our Facebook page, we're at Coops BBQ. It's KOOP''S BBQ on Facebook and Instagram. I try to post a lot of pictures of all the food, and
She posts the menu daily. So
I
whatever
do-
our
I do
menu
post
is
the
that day
menu.
gets posted that morning, and that's what we have for the day.
Awesome.
And I just downloaded a new menu app, so my menus are really pretty too.
And
Nice.
if you need things done, we'll travel. We cater. Business openings, any type of events, birthdays. We're doing a birthday party for business for Brian Lipo, a friend of ours who owns a few businesses on the island in September. We do all types of any type of event.
Awesome. All right, well, check them out. That's Coops. Search for it on Facebook, KOOPS. We tagged him here a couple times in our Facebook stream, so if you're watching that way, just click on that and follow that. Give them a thumbs up, give them a like, and then you can follow that menu. This is
Thank you.
Kickstart. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Thank you all for hanging out.
Absolutely. That was awesome. Thank you for having us.
Facebook, y'all be good. Be blessed. Do something good this weekend.